everybody. Just, last minute adjusting of the camera. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching, and I am joined again, luckily, by Krista. Krista, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Krista Barone. I am operations consultant as well as a coach that comes along with the territory. But I'm also Reiki master, Rome therapist, ordained minister, spiritual student, and healer of personal trauma. And I am thrilled to be on Moment of Presence once again.
I love having you here. Today, we are going to talk about something that we have done over and over multiple times and it's the seesaw, right? The seesaw. And we do something, we read a book, we get highly motivated, and then we put all these like really good habits into place where high thriving, flourishing, and then what happens? What happens?
It all collapses.
Why is that? I actually asked your father this because I wanted a man's opinion. What do you think happens? And he's like, we get content. You get content. Things feel good. And then you start thinking that you can go back to your old habits and you can go back to living life the way that you did, like eating habits. And then what happens?
Nothing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we get motivated again. And then we find all these great habits and things to do again. And then we feel great again. And then we get content. And then it all falls away.
Up and down and up and down. And where else in your life do you think that this affects you, people, me, anybody? Because we all do this. It's not like it's only us or only clients out there. What areas of your life do you think that this impacts as someone continues to do this up and down seesaw?
Oh, it impacts everything. Every area of your life is impacted by this. It depends. I mean, the area most affected depends on which area it is that you're working on. But I mean, ultimately, it's all affected because it all has to do at the end of the day with your mindset.
Ah, mindset. I love mindset, don't you?
Love it.
Mindset is one of those things that you love, but you wish you didn't have to work on. But, something else interesting that your father said this morning. He said, it's just like a relationship. You have to work on it every day. And I think that people forget that. And it's all relationships, the relationship with yourself, the relationship with other people, a marriage, work, your career. Everything is a relationship. We're in a relationship with everything, with nature. We're in a relationship. You stop taking care of your plants, and what happens? They die. Then you get new plants and you take care of them because you're really super excited. And then what happens? They die. So you have to maintain and create a routine for yourself. And I think that is potentially one of the biggest issues, is that people aren't setting a routine. They're throwing stuff right at the wall like spaghetti, seeing if it's done. You throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. And then it doesn't, and then they start their search again for something else. But it's all about routine and being disciplined on keeping it, maintaining that forward motion.
So it's giving it enough time to take effect, and then also following through and continuing it.
Yes. And if something has to be tweaked, because it doesn't mean that just because it works in the book, right, that you read, that you now want to implement a plan for yourself. It doesn't mean that it's going to work as perfect for you. You might have to make some adjustments and tweaks, but you don't have to just throw it out the window either. So we're going to talk more about this, but everyone, thank you for being here. I don't even think we went into that yet. So thank you all for being here today. And if you know someone that this would be a great episode for them to watch or tune in, share it out right now. Just share it and tell them to jump on. The replay is always posted, so they can jump in there too. But we're gonna go into this a little deeper. But first, I want to make sure that we're bringing ourselves into the moment. I had a really, really good conversation about being in the moment, in the stillness, and a big epiphany the other day, and that we should be in the moment every part of our day, and it should be a blank slate. So, we know how Abraham Hicks talks about segment intending. Every segment should be fresh. It should be a blank slate. So we're going to wipe the slate clean with our breath work and bring ourselves into this moment. So that way we can absorb what we're going to be talking about and then apply it as we need to. All right. So remember, 3 big deep breaths. We're going to take one at a time. We're going to count to 5, and then we're going to exhale. And then we're going to do it 2 more times. Okay. So Krista, you join me?
Of course.
Big deep breath in. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Exhale.
And I would add something on the next inhale and exhale. On the exhale, release everything that's occurred today to get you into that present moment.
And imagine it all being wiped like a chalkboard, right? All those teachers that are done with school, woohoo! Now you can wipe the slate clean and just imagine using, do they even have chalkboards, dry erase boards, whatever? Wipe it clean. We're starting fresh summer. Big deep breath in. Pick up that eraser and just wipe it clean. 3, 2, 1. Let it out. And big deep breath in. Anything else you want to bring up? And then just exhale and release it. Always feels good, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's like just this reset and
underrated exercise.
It really is. Oh, you mean one that's not used enough? So if you're here and you're joining us, please make sure that you let us know that you're here. You can comment, ask questions, definitely add to the conversation. Let us know who you are by adding your name, because wonderful systems that we use doesn't always show names. So if you could do that, that would be great. So let's talk about this. So what is something that you added in your routine recently, or in the last, let's say, 6 months, that you had a really good go at it, and then it kind of piddled out?
Oh, geez. In the last 6 months? It seems like I add it every day and it piddles out, and that's drinking enough water. I have a nice big water bottle that I always say I'm going to at least drink one just to get started. And sometimes I get close, sometimes I achieve it, and the next day I'm like, that was so easy, I'll just do it again. And then I don't. And then a week goes by, I go, I really got to focus on my water. Great day, awesome, so easy. I keep forgetting how easy this was. And then I wake up the next day and I drink a quarter or a half during my workout, and then that's been a habit I've been working on for 20 years. So all it takes is one more day.
Well, it only takes 30 days, as we have a friend that says that all the time. Yes. So Pat, Cindy, welcome. Definitely join in the conversation. Yes, water drinking. I agree with you, Cindy. I'm like, oh God, water.
Yeah.
Water is like so good for you. It gives you energy. It does all these wonderful things for you. We know this. We know how good it feels to be hydrated. We know our skin looks better when we hydrate. And yet we have a big, tall water bottle. We kind of finish it, but then we don't.
Yeah.
And this can go for other things too, like taking vitamins or supplements, or, sure, medication that works for you. And then some people wait until their blood pressure goes up high again, and then they take their blood pressure medication.
The running joke online is when you're at the grocery store and you buy only healthy food because you're really motivated to eat super clean, and then you get home and you don't want any of it, so then you binge on a couple of cookies that you had left in your pantry. That's another great one.
That is another great one. How about meditating? How about you know that it's good to take time in the middle of your day and do that, and then what happens? Well, the puppy had to go out or something else had to happen.
Well, but I had an early meeting, so I didn't have as much time in the morning. So I just skipped it today, but I'm going to do it tomorrow, I swear. And then a week goes by. And then 2 weeks go by. And then a month goes by.
Yeah. So we're saying all of these and we're kind of making fun of it because, yes, rum and Coke. I'm with you, Cindy. We're kind of making a little bit of fun. We can do that because these are all personal examples.
Yeah.
And so we've been there. And it happens, right? We get motivated, we get so hyped up, and then life happens and we forget to take care of ourselves, or we're so busy taking care of everybody else, and all of a sudden we're completely drained.
Yeah. What happens a lot too is it happens, I think primarily it's usually with like in relation to exercise, but I guarantee it's with a lot of things. Is people say, well, I need to be exercising 5 days a week, an hour every day, but I don't have time for that, so I'm just not going to work out at all.
Right.
Or you could do 2 days a week and at least be getting some exercise in. We apply that to meditation. Well, I just don't have time. I have early meetings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I just don't. So then meditate Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Just because you can't do the maximum doesn't mean you can't do the minimum. And believe it or not, once you do the minimum, you're going to want to do the maximum. You're going to change your priorities so that you can do the maximum.
Well, and that's the thing, because you always finish and you're like, oh my God, my day was so good. And then you look back and you're like, oh yeah, I did that, and that. And then when you don't do it, I've been on this meditation journey for 5 years now. When I miss, I know I'm not the only one that notices when I miss.
Yeah.
I know that everyone in the family notices when I miss because I'm off. I'm shorter. Well, I'm always short, but I'm shorter with my moods. And it's different. My energy is different. And so, I know, my clients get tired of me saying it, but it's pre-meditating for your day. And if you meditate in the morning, you're getting yourself at a certain level. And then whatever happens, you're never going to go as low as if you had started low. And so it's a way to give back to yourself. And
Real quick, Patricia, you don't need to do better about meditating. It sounds like you want to do more meditating. That you're eager, that you're excited, that you can't wait to do more meditation because it feels so good to be meditating.
Words matter. And speaking of words, I will say, and I'm going to give a shout out to Raymond. He posted something last night that I definitely wanted to bring into the talk today. He posted one of those little graphics. It's on you to get you where you want to be. Read that again. It's on you to get you where you want to be. It is not anybody else's responsibility to it's not anyone else's responsibility to get you where you belong. It's not anyone else's responsibility to help you maintain a habit. It's not on anyone else to keep you in a good mood. I was listening to something that someone sent me that another coach was saying, and she was saying, if you depend on other people to raise your vibration, basically, to keep you in the mood that you want to stay in, it's okay for a time being to have others help you. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You're going to depend on. So if I come into a situation and you're in a bad mood, I'm going to be in the bad mood and allow it to overtake me. That doesn't sound like I'm taking responsibility for my own mood. It sounds like I'm allowing myself to be influenced by someone else's. And I was like, I don't know that that's a great example of something that you should do. And I do remember being like that. I remember in the old days going into work, and if my boss was in a bad mood, then it affected my mood. It changed my mood.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how it's supposed to be. What if we showed up and we maintained our mood, met them where they were, and maybe our mood rubs off on them? I mean, it's possible. And even if it doesn't, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
That's their issue. It's not our issue. Their circus, their monkey. We can help if we're asked to help, but we can't allow ourselves to be pushed down because of somebody else. And that's why it's so important for this radical responsibility of taking care of yourself and
Yeah.
being in the moment. And so, the other day I did something new outside of my norm, and I was able to just say, you know what? It's going to be great, because I'm just going to show up and respond to whatever happens. And I went in with no attachment to the outcome. I went in not knowing what I was going to talk about or what I was going to do. And guess what? It was so much fun. And it wasn't just fun for me. I think everybody got a piece of the fun, a piece of the action. And if we show up in every situation like that, not attached to the outcome, and just go in and be ourselves, how awesome is that?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, what are some things that you all do to keep yourself on a routine that's working for you? Just share it in the comments. And I'm going to call Cindy out. I know you have a way that you keep yourself on track if you want to share.
Well, Michelle, how do you keep yourself on track?
Well, I have this wonderful planner. I love my planner.
Mm-hmm.
But it also doesn't fit the way my mind works. And my mind works very different. I will, put it out there. I love my ADHD mind. It's fun.
And I keep telling her she's just an Aries for those of us who are zodiac people.
Yes, Cindy, alarms for everything. And I started doing some of that for myself as well, just reminders. So yeah, that's awesome. It's all about knowing ourselves and that radical self-acceptance and self-responsibility. Don't judge yourself. Just be you and do whatever is going to support you. That's all. So back to my planner. My planner's wonderful, but it doesn't work the way my mind works. So what I did, because it's so super pretty, and right, we have the same planner, and it's so super pretty, but it doesn't allow me to kind of be all over the place. So what I did was I just did it my way. So instead of all the times, it has all the lines with all the times, I just make it at more of a list of these are the things I want to get done for the day. And then I just check it as it goes on. And the next day, anything that's not checked gets moved over. And then by the end of the week, if there's still something left that wasn't checked, that tells me that it wasn't that important to me, and I should probably look at why I even thought it was important. So that's one of the things. We got a new puppy, so my morning routine has been kind of split in half, but I have not allowed it to affect my meditation. I've shortened my meditation, and I've had to not get out of bed, brush my teeth, and then go meditate. Now I have to brush my teeth, go take the puppy out, do some puppy training, get him his breakfast. And then while he's eating and digesting, I run in and I go and meditate. So I had to make a couple tweaks, but I'm still keeping true to what I know works for me. So I think that that's important, is you take into account what's happening and just reorganize it a little bit, but always make sure that you're getting that fuel for yourself first, because the car ain't going to run if there is not fuel, and not good fuel in it. It won't last.
Yeah. And I really
So
want to hit on something that you said was you made adjustments that work for you. And I think going back to what we were talking about earlier with like the exercising thing. Well, I can't exercise 5 days a week, so I'm just not going to do it at all. Well, meditations where I just listen to music don't work for me, so I'm just not going to do them at all. I can't meditate every day, so I'm just going to not do it at all. You adjust and morph these things to fit you and what your needs are. For me, I can go a couple of days without meditating and I'm all right because the meditations that I have build me up enough that I'm okay. And I know that about myself, and I've done trial and error to find out what works for me and what doesn't. Truth be told, I didn't meditate this morning because I did have an early meeting. And to me, I prioritize getting a workout in over meditating. Mm-hmm. But in a way, working out is sort of like meditating, which I know is true for me. Might not be true for other people. So you really have to, whatever you decide that you want to do and you want to incorporate into your routine, make it fit for you. Mm-hmm. If eating healthy looks one way for you, but a different way for somebody else, that's fine. If meditating for you means taking walks outside as the sun is rising, do that. If it's better that you don't have a timer, don't do a timer. You don't have to be one of those people that says, well, I meditate for 20 minutes every morning. I meditate. That's all. You don't have to even tell anybody. But whatever it is for you and what works for you is what is going to get you to where you want to be. And it does take a little bit of trial and error.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 30 days. I think Pat told us on one of the lives before, 30 days or 21 days to create a habit. Mm-hmm. And it really, you can create the habit, but then you've got to test it out for the following month, right? And make sure that it's really solidified and cemented in. I think that's the important part. Yeah. And knowing what it is that you're expecting from it. If you're going into working out and you know that you want 6-pack abs, well, then the 5 minutes isn't going to do that for you.
Right. So a month isn't going to do that for you.
So maybe you need to adjust your goal based on what's happening in your life right now. Right. I was walking with Max, our big dog, at 3 times a week, and we were doing like 2 miles. Well, with the puppy, if I'm not, sleeping as well, my priority is sleep. And so I've got to sleep a little bit extra in the morning. Otherwise, I'm not good for anybody, including the clients or myself or the family, for the rest of the day. So I've had to make some tweaks and adjustments there. Okay, I could take a walk at night. I could, do something else that would be exercise. So there are choices. You just have to be open to them. And it's all about being adaptable. And that's what working from being in the moment is all about. Because if you're in the moment, then you can do what feels right intuitively. And you taught me about intuitive eating, and it's the same thing. Intuitive exercise. If you don't feel like working out, then go take the walk. If you don't feel like doing the full weight routine, then do some jumping jacks or run with the puppies or whatever it is, but do something, be active. It doesn't have to be totally organized either. And I'm sure you have those times where you go in the gym and you're like, I don't feel like working on legs today. Maybe I'll do this. Or maybe not. Thank you, Pat.
I'm a little bit more of a rigid personality. I'm not an Aries. I'm the opposite of Aries. So for me, I usually, there are times where I'll adjust based on what my outlook of the day looks like or something. Bye, Patricia. Thanks for joining us. But I'm a little bit more rigid, but that just goes to show, again, you have to do what's right for you. And that's going to look different for everybody. Something else that, is a strategy of getting off the seesaw is, you mentioned not relying on other people to form habits or create habits, but having someone to help keep you accountable is different. Having someone to check in with you to see how you're doing is different. Even better is having someone like you, Michelle, a coach that is going to not only keep you accountable, but also guide you on finding the best resources for you, finding the best techniques for you, finding the best strategies for you, helping you unpack some of those things that are going on in your mind. That's something that is going to keep you going for a long time.
Well, and I think what's so interesting about that is, how many times have I or you or any of us tried to start a book club, or okay, we're going to do a girls craft day once a month, and then something happens, someone can't come, it all falls away and nothing ever gets done. And it's that accountability. But yet as a group, and you and I both have had this experience where it was something to do with work and a team, where it was, okay, we're all going to read this book and we're all going to discuss this chapter, or what have you. And we did gain insight from it. We did work through it because we knew that there was going to be a discussion together. It was a team effort. It wasn't just something that a friend was saying, hey, let's do this together, and then we end up not doing it because life happens. And so there's no judgment there. The point is that when you do have a coach, when you do have a mentor, when you do have somebody that is going to hold you accountable, you are more likely to do whatever it is that you are planning on doing or that you're wanting to do.
And you really want this person to be on a level above you, not better than you, but just a level above, because you always want to have someone that you can look to that you're striving for, things that they know. You want the knowledge that they have, the things that they've learned, the techniques that they have, because those are going to be the people that can show you the road to take. That's going to be maybe the road less traveled, maybe the road that's a little bit more difficult right now, but it's going to lead you to better reward. If you're just surrounding yourself with people equal level or below, you're really not going to grow anywhere. So the other key is not only to have someone that's going to keep you accountable, but someone that's going to keep you accountable and also lead you towards more everything.
And it goes back to that old saying, or you'll be told, like, oh, look at the people that you surround yourself with, your normal group that you hang out with. If you are at the top of your group, then there's an issue for you, not for the other people in your group, because they're going to aspire and they're going to want to follow you or be in your energy because you're in a higher energy. This isn't about clout. This isn't about anything like that. This is all about energetically. And so if you're surrounding yourself with people that are the same or lower vibe than you,
or intelligence, I mean,
or
education, knowledge, all that,
you're gonna lower your vibe to meet them where they are versus them meeting you where they are. And so if you surround yourself with a mix, a nice blend of people, where there are people that know more than you, that can teach you, that you can follow their path. And I always think it's so interesting because when I meet with, my clients and we're meeting in the beginning, I always, talk to them about, their likes, their dislikes, what have they heard about? What have they not heard about? Spiritually, where are they? And I do that because I thank you, God, divine, for the gift of being able to intuitively know that this path isn't going to work for them, but this path is going to really turn them on, and they're going to want to be motivated and move forward. And then this path, this might be a little too much for now, but we can go back to that. And for me, it's so much fun, right? And teachers do this too. You have to see your students and you have to decide, how am I going to teach them? Some people are more, they listen more. Some people want to see, some people want to read it, some people want to feel it. It just depends, but you have to ask the questions and be interested to know how they're going to absorb it. Yeah.
And I think it's really important too what you're saying about you create a plan custom for each of your clients, which I think is becoming more and more rare, especially now that we have like AI and all this stuff coming out, that it's just going to put out cookie cutter stuff. And, a lot of, you see in the coaching world, a lot of coaching programs, they start out with coaching clients and working with clients in a very custom manner. And then they grow and grow and grow, and they lose that element to it. And so, if coaching is the route you want to take, or mentorship or whatever, make sure that what you're looking for offers that custom maybe it's a custom program, maybe it's just custom coaching for you, because otherwise, I mean, you've just seen in our conversation today, we have very different ways of doing things. You have to meditate every day. I can go a couple days without it. We're so different, and we're blood. Like, so I can imagine for the rest of the people in the world, everyone has different preferences. And so I think it's so important that you find coaching or mentorship or whatever that's catered to you, what your needs are, what works for you, because otherwise then it's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
I mean, how many books have I read that it sounds great, but then I try it and I go, I did not like that at all. My day was horrible. That was not for me. I can't even tell you how many. So it's so important to make sure that you're doing what works for you, because you're not going to end up with the same results if you're not getting that same energy resonance. You're not getting that same drive that other people get from the same strategies and techniques.
Mm-hmm. Well, and with that being said, you have to try something new to know if it's going to work for you or not. Because you can't keep doing only what feels comfortable. You have to try things that are outside of your comfort zone. However, you can there are certain guidelines that can be followed with that. And I think that that's what the fun part is being able to pick those out and see the path that's right for, you know, whoever it is that I'm working with. So I know we're going long, and I want to touch on what's coming.
Yeah, which actually this was a perfect segue to it. We didn't even plan that, but hey, it works out.
Okay, cool. So next week, right, the 19th through the 23rd, I am going to be doing the Calm the Chaos workshop. This one is going to be a bit different. It's going to be about raising the bar. And it came to me in a meditation. There were these words that stood out, and it was raise the bar. How can I raise the bar? How can I raise the bar for me? How can I raise the bar for the clients? How can I raise the bar for life? There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the world, and a lot of people are dealing with the energies of it, and it's not feeling good. And so we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, yes, there's always going to be a component of self-care in my workshops, because you know that I just am passionate about that. But we're also going to be talking about, how do you handle those dreadful conversations or the dreadful days? How can you move forward? How can you learn to, we're going to touch again on the respond and react, because I think that's so important to remember and know the difference and how to respond versus react, and know what you should do in those moments. So we're going to talk about that. It'll be 5 days. So it'll be Monday through Friday. It's going to be at 12:30 Eastern. So join us for lunch, put your headphones, on, and we are going to be on Zoom. If you're at work, you don't have to be on video, but I would suggest joining by Zoom. That way the chat is live. It's live. It's, right then, real time. And so there's more engagement, more interaction. And so there will be replays, but you have to register in order to have access to the replays. And the Zoom links as well. We're doing it on Zoom because we can kind of control who's there, who's listening. And so it's a bit more private. And I like that because I want us to be able to have like open conversations. You'll be able to ask some questions at the end of each workshop. So it'll be about 30 minutes every day. And and then I have a big announcement on next Friday. So excited. That also came to me in meditation. So we'll see how that goes. So I am looking forward to seeing all of you there. Make sure that you invite anyone you think, bring in a buddy. Accountability buddies are a thing, as long as you hold each other accountable to holding each other accountable.
If you don't even want it to be an accountability buddy situation, you just know someone that needs a little pick me up, that needs to kind of get things going, get things in order, that maybe are having a little bit of a hard time, invite them too.
And even if it's a daughter, mother, son, bring them, because you don't have to get into your personal stuff. I'm going to be doing most of the talking, but we can, certainly talk offline. There'll be an opportunity to book a call with me, so we can go into that in that call. But definitely don't let that hold you back. But definitely invite a friend, share it out if you know other people, maybe people at work, what have you, that could use. Maybe it's a team building experience for your team. Could be that too. So definitely join in. Join us next week. I'm not sure if we're going to just make a replay for this. We haven't really talked about that for next Wednesday because this will be at the same time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll have to talk about that. I have a couple ideas, so we'll see. But I look forward to seeing everybody there. Remember that every day can be a great day or a really bad day. It is all up to you. You get to choose. So make really, really good choices. Krista, thank you again for.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not forget, you can find Michelle at mokshagracecoaching.com, at Moksha Grace on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. You can find me at wickedwisdomconsulting.com. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. If you have any questions or anything like that, post them in the comments. If you have any questions about the workshop, definitely post a comment because I'm sure if you have a question, someone else has a question. And you know where to find us.
Yeah, and see, everyone can see why exactly you are the Wizard of Operations, because you keep me on my toes. So if you, if you need anything with your business and you want to build up and scale up, definitely Krista is the one to get you there or get you started. A lot of people just don't even know how to get started. So thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Bye.